Hey, welcome everybody to the Dice Tower Board Game Breakfast. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
I
What's happening?
love to laugh loud and long and clear. Alrighty, folks, it is Thursday. We're here. Lots of things to talk about. But before we jump into the show itself, we want to talk a little bit about a contest. We have a contest here to get 3 app codes for a website that you may not have heard of. So this is foretellergames.com. That's F-O-R, foreteller, as in telling the future, foreteller.games.com. And what this website does is it provides professionally done narration for games that have a lot of text in them. Specifically, at this point, we're talking about Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. There's lots of different events and things that happen. And so this is a standalone game in the Gloomhaven universe, and it has these characters, and it's fantastic, and I love it. And now this narration for this particular game is being released on the 24th, which is tomorrow. And there's also other things on there, like Madara. If you've ever played Madara, it's like a book, and I'm not exaggerating, a book of narration type stuff. To have someone read that to you would be pretty cool. So you can find out more about this at foretellergames.com, and you can enter our contest by emailing us at contest@dicetower.com, and in the subject line put the word talk, as in T-A-L-K. Talk. 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 T-A-L-K. Anyway, and then in the...
I thought you were going to pull off like a little Porky the Pig bit, like talk, speak.
That's all, folks.
Do the talk, speak.
So, yeah, we'll pick a couple winners. We'll let you know, actually, by the end of this episode. So if you're paying attention, enter our contest. So
all right.
We don't need your actual physical address because these are just going to be codes. So this is available to everybody everywhere. Well, what time? This is like, we're actually a week before Gen Con Online at this point. It's kind of weird. Normally we'd be kind of, right now we would be super stressed.
Yes, this would be crazy times crunching it to leave town and make sure everything's still happening back at home.
Yeah, we go to Gen Con, we leave on Monday or Tuesday of the week. We're there for a whole week. You know, we are prepping and getting things ready. Right now I'm just like, it's all good. It's all good. I was talking to someone about this yesterday, that even though there's all the negative things about this year and all, but there is time to get projects done. If you have something at home that you've been putting off, all my neighbors are like working on their yards and redoing houses and stuff. If you don't do it now, you ain't ever going to do it. You're not going to have more time than that.
That's the truth. That's the truth of it. Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to look at the news in just a bit, but before we do that, here's some of our contributors.
Hey everyone, today on the Plastic Canvas I'm going to share my thoughts on painting minis from board games purely as a passion versus painting them just to get them done and out on the board. So when I first got into painting minis, I did so because I loved anything arty. And as our board game collection started to grow and we got some that had some miniatures in them, I thought, these would be awesome to paint. They're going to make our board games look better, but it's also an artistic outlet for me. So when I first started, I worked really meticulously on each mini, really spending some time on them trying to paint them as well as I could. But then as we started to get some more games and games that had better quality minis, I was then thinking, gee, I'd really like to get onto them, but I've still got these other games to finish off that I've been working on. So then what I did is I picked out some minis from the games that I was working on to paint more quickly, just not do to quite as high of a standard, so that I could then get onto some of these minis from these other games. But I was thinking, well, hang on, that's not actually what I got into painting minis for. It wasn't to quickly paint them just to get them on the table, it was because I was really passionate about painting. But what I found though was that painting some of the minis a bit more quickly was teaching me things that working really slowly on a mini was never going to teach me. I learned how to highlight and shade more quickly, how to build textures more quickly, and this was really, really important stuff. So I think it's really important to find a balance between the two, because I think you need to be painting as a passion so that it keeps you motivated and it keeps you improving your skills. but it's also important to not get bogged down in every single one, because you need to be able to move through your collection, and that's going to teach you more skills as well. So for me, when I decide on how much I'm going to invest into a mini painting-wise, I look at how much we love the game, how often we're going to be playing it, and then each individual mini, how much detail is in it, and how important is it to the overall game. So if you're a miniature painter, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this on the comments down below, but also I have done a longer discussion of this on my channel, The Plastic Canvas, so you can also head over there and also check out some videos of me painting minis. So this is Matt from The Plastic Canvas signing out, and I hope you enjoy your breakfast.
Hey du, Aufmerksamkeit! What? Entschuldigung! What? Raus! Schnell! Achtung, Idioten! Oh God, shut up! Well, if you were a German prisoner of war in World War I, you would have heard that. Check this out. But before we get into check this out, you know, if you're into smelly, wet, rat-infested, dead bodies all over the place, rotting, gas bombs being thrown at you, and just miserable, and the first mechanized war, well, this game is for you. Trench Club, right now on Kickstarter, right now, by good guy Philip Berger. And what is a trench club? Well, it's a club that they put together in a trench, and they used to hack away your enemies. Look, don't get all sickened by this by saying, "Ooh, how dare he?" Hey, look, people play Eldritch horror and all that, and it's the things, the Cthulhu things. I mean, they look ugly, like my ex-wife, and they eat people. What do you want me to tell you? So this game is a World War I strategic, actually I should say tactical, non-scenario based game. So basically, you just choose your players where you want to put them, secretly that is, and then you go! It's fun. Philip thought about a fun game, not bogged down by rules, but just by going to get at the other guy. So let me tell you a little bit of what you get in this game. First of all, it's a miniatures game, right? And you get things like an artillery gun called a Big Bertha. An artillery gun, it's like a big cannon. And then, you know, bang, whatever. And you should see the size of the shells. And then you get the machine gun. This is the first time the machine gun was used. I guess that's where Hamburger came out. But anyways, then you get tanks. The first tanks ever. I mean, come on. There was like 8 guys in this smelly tank, and it was a diesel engine inside, and it was loud, and oh my God, and it went 3 miles an hour. Hey, you know, I'm just trying to make you feel what it's like to be in a really grungy situation, and it's like, oh God. Great game. I'm backing it. I can't wait to play it. Immerse yourself.
There is definitely, the news is back in full force. Part of this is because, you know, it's time for Gen Con, essentially. So companies are announcing not only stuff for that, but upcoming stuff for that would come out at Essen. We're kind of having a conglomerate of this.
Yeah. So, it's exciting times again.
So first, some stuff from Blue Orange Games. And I'm pretty pumped about all this. Dragomino, we already know about. We showed this off on our channel here, a kid's version of King Domino. Then we have Cloud City, which has nothing to do with Star Wars. But it's a Phil Walker Harding game, tile placement. I'm automatically in, based on that alone.
Yep, he knows what he's doing. It's good stuff.
Meeple Land, I don't know much about this other than that it's an amusement park theme. But again, Blue Orange is so high on my list at this point with these kind of games that I know the quality is going to be good. I'm hoping the game is fun. And then
it looks like a charmer.
Something that blew my mind, an expansion for photosynthesis. I wasn't expecting this. Photosynthesis came out a few years ago, and now instead of the sun, there's the moonlight mechanism, and animals coming to the game. So I know we're getting a copy of this. As soon as that comes in, I'm playing it because I love photosynthesis. And I don't know what an expansion would add. I guess we'll have to see.
Well, it sounds like you said it. It sounds like a moonlight mechanism and animals. I'm assuming some animals are going to be moving around the trees, maybe foraging, and that'll give you victory points. It sounds great. It sounds like just the way to add content. I'm excited.
Yeah, I am too. I'm just saying that when I played photosynthesis, I wasn't sitting there going, this game needs an expansion. So that's what I'm kind of curious to see.
Yeah.
All right, every year the Spiel des Jahres winners are announced. We've already talked about them and guests. And I have to say, I saw a few people pick pictures to win the Spiel des Jahres, but not many. Mm-hmm. In fact, I'll say I thought my city was going to win. But pictures won. It is a party game in which you, through various different ways, make pictures. There's a bunch of pictures on the board. I, to be open and honest, was not a fan of the game, but that doesn't mean it can't win the award, I suppose.
Right.
I think it's the weakest winner ever of the Spiel des Jahres, like across the board. This is my opinion, obviously. It's the lightest of the three games up there. That doesn't mean it's bad, but people might have said, well, this is the most accessible of the three nominees. My question is, what about of every game that was released last year? At the end of the day, it's their call, right? It's a German award for German people, not for me. But it is weird to say Pictures and Ticket to Ride and El Grande in the same group.
Well, El Grande would never win now, right? I mean,
I don't know that Ticket to Ride would win now.
I think El Grande would honestly probably not win Kennerspiel.
Right,
it
would
El
be
Grande
too complex for that.
Be too heavy. Tikal won. I mean, Tikal would not win the Kennerspiel now. It's too heavy.
Yeah. Well, be that as it may, that's just the way the awards have morphed.
Right.
And Pictures has been very popular with many people, so there you go. The Crew won the Kennerspiel. That one I thought was a slam dunk. Great game. Really like it. Although, again, 5 years ago, I think the Crew would have been nominated for the Spiel des Jahres.
Yeah,
possibly.
I agree.
Alrighty, Star Wars Talisman coming from the AMP. One of the things I find interesting about this one is that all the characters here are busts, and the last time I saw this was when they made Relic, which was the Warhammer 40K version of Talisman. You remember when Fantasy Flight made that, and they made them busts because that way you couldn't use the figures in Warhammer 40K. No, that's seriously like Games Workshop doesn't want you making miniatures, so they made busts. I don't know what the Star Wars one here is, except maybe Fantasy Flight has the option of only having the only plastic figures of Star Wars. I just think it's
great.
Weird.
I mean, from this little image, I think they look fantastic. I like busts. I like that look as a game piece. I always have.
All right, Marvel Champions has Kang the Conqueror. He's if you don't know much about the Avengers, he's a guy who goes through time and space, always fighting against the Avengers. If he can't get you in the present, he'll get you in the future or in the past. That was always his thing. Not the most competent of bad guys, but I don't know. He hasn't shown up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe yet, but this Marvel Champions game isn't slowing down. And next week, I fully expect big announcements about it to be made from Fantasy Flight.
You think is Fantasy Flight doing announcements like they would at Gen Con? Is that confirmed?
They are. And in fact, I believe we'll get to that later on in this news section.
Okay. All right.
All right. Villainous, the Marvel Villainous is being released, I think, this week. I've been trying to keep up with the all the different games that are being released at Target. There's so many games coming out at Target right now. I just saw there was this Joker game at Target that I hadn't heard anything about. It wasn't even in the Board Game Geek database. So, yeah, weird. So, yeah, I'm just keeping track of that. But this is where you'll be one of the many, many Marvel villains. And it's based in the same world as Villainous, although I don't think they're compatible. Although that's not going to stop me from trying and seeing.
Okay.
All right, breakdancing. Breakdancing Meeples.
I gotta say, I'm kind of over the use of Meeple in a title or in a game. I don't know. Like, we just saw Meeple, what was it? Meeple Park or whatever. What was it called? Let me go back.
Meepleville or something?
Meeple Land. Meeple Land. We had, like, War of the Meeples a few years ago. I don't like it. It kind of turns me off of the game.
I agree. I think
the title saying Meeple something seems too in. You know what I mean? It just seems too like you either get it or you don't. If you don't, get out. That's how it makes me feel. I don't like it.
I just don't think everything needs to be Meeples. I mean, if you want to make a breakdancing game, that's fine. Then call it something else. It doesn't matter that much. It's a dexterity game, and you are rolling Meeples. This really sounds like someone did it by accident. Well, also past pigs. But someone had Meeples and like, what if you rolled these? And like, we can make a game out of that. I'm hoping this isn't the final cover because this looks very amateur.
Sure.
But it's coming from Atlas Games. All right. Queen Games has been talking about this Stefan Feld City Collection game for a long time. That's going to have 8+ games over multiple years. You know, so the first one here is Hamburg. So I don't think there's nothing to do with Hamburgum. That's what's the guy who makes the rondelles? That's his game.
Mark Gertz. Mark
Gertz did Hamburgum. This is Hamburg.
Is it Mac Gertz? I forget.
Mac Gertz.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. We're ruining your name there. So Mac Gertz did Hamburgum. Stefan Feld is doing Hamburg. This is not a reimplementation of his other game. It's actually a reimplementation of Bruges.
Right. Yeah, people thought, this is a reimplementation of the Spiekerstadt, which is the warehouse game, which is set in Hamburg. But it's not. It's Bruges. They're just changing cities.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I love Bruges a lot. This doesn't look as pretty as Bruges, the cover. I like how Bruges looks. Right?
Yeah, I do. I do too. I don't think it needs the it just seems weird. This creates confusion for no good reason. Maybe there was
some legalities that they couldn't call it Bruges, although you think it's the name of a city. You could do whatever you want, right?
Yeah, no, there's no way. I'm not sure why the move. I know they're changing the game. They're changing a decent amount of things from what I've read up on this. But why the move from one faceless city that doesn't really matter in the game to another faceless city that doesn't really matter in the game? You're just creating confusion. Call this Bruges. Sell more copies. It's out of print. You know what I mean?
Actually, though, I wonder maybe that's part of the thing, Z. Then you get someone who already owns Bruges to buy it.
I think it's a better move to not upset someone by buying a game again than it is to give Bruges to everybody who wants one. Because I think it's pretty out of print. I think there's demand.
It's very out of print. And that's not all. City Collection game number 2 is Amsterdam, which is a re-implementation of Macau.
What?
It's really weird. I mean, I get that they're trying to make this a nice, pretty collection of all these games to keep and all. So we'll see. When this comes out, I'm going to play it because I did not like Macau, but I may have softened on my Stefan Feld. I do like Bruges a lot. I'm sorry. I like Hamburg a lot.
I agree. I want to play this just to see what the differences are. I have Bruges. I'm extremely happy with it, though. And Macau, I felt the same way you did. I'll be willing to try it again, but I don't know. This is a cool looking collection. I'm excited for it. It's really far out. they're releasing one or two of these a year. So by the time they've got 8 out, it'll be a long time.
Yeah, but the first 2 aren't even new, though.
That's true.
And this is, these are not shipping till 2021. Both of these.
Right.
All right, out of my brain.
Right.
Alrighty. Legendary comes out with another expansion for Marvel Legendary as a shocking surprise. Was there more characters? Yes, they're doing Into the Cosmos. Adam Warlock is finally in the game, as well as Yondu because he's so popular. And if there's not a card that says something about Mary Poppins, I'll be disappointed. So, Moon Dragon. So basically the Infinity Watch is going to be in this one here.
Oh, the Infinity Watch.
Don't even pretend. Transformers, the trading card game. Their next set, Titans Master Attack, will be the final one, which has people crying and sad that that the Wizards of the Coast is ending a trading card game. And to those people, I ask, do you know Wizards of the Coast? Because they have never kept the trading card game going except Magic.
To those people, I say, Transformers, surprised it got this far.
That's really the truth of it. I think this is it's the 5th set, I think. That's pretty
wild.
Good.
That's better than most.
Yeah, whenever Wizard of the Coast starts something, it ain't going to last. It really, if it doesn't make Magic numbers, sorry, man. At the same time.
Yeah, 5 is good. Come on.
There's a lot of it out there. If you want to play Transformers, go play it. It's not like it's a competitive scene thing anyway. Just buy some decks and cards and build and play against the other people. It's a fun, light game. So I'm okay with this at the same time, though, it does make you think every time Wizards like, here's a new CCG. You're like, yeah, fool me 16 times. Shame on me. Alrighty. Tokyo Sidekick. Oh, we talked about this yesterday.
That's right.
This hit the news twice, apparently, coming from Japanime Games. So go watch Crowd Surfing for our thoughts on that. Okay, so there's a crossover between IDW and Kamon. There's Usagi Yojimbo. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this correctly. This is a set of heroes for Arcadia Quest. This is not the first time this has happened. IDW did a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pack that was compatible with Zombicide in the past. So this is cool, except for people who are completionists.
Oh,
I've already seen, I'm a member of a Facebook group about Arcadia Quest fanatics, and they're already discussing it in detail, going over all the different special abilities. I'm like, oh, this is one of those things that I guess I'm not a huge fan of this IP, but if I saw them and it was, easy to pick up, I might grab them.
Right. That's what it's got to be, It's a little special something.
All right, Outside Magazine talked about the outdoorsy board game our editors love. And usually these are kind of ho-hum lists, but this has some really good games. Photosynthesis, Wingspan Parks, Starlink, Send It, Trekking the National Parks, and Everdell. I like all those games. Well, I haven't played Trekking the National Parks, but Z says it's good. Except for Send It, which is a biking game, and we talked about that at some point because we were laughing about the name. Send It! So
interesting. Yeah, this is a good list. I guess outdoorsy, they mean the theme is outdoorsy. I thought they meant play outside kind of game. But it's a solid list of games. Much better, like you said, than the usual picks for this kind of list. Fantastic.
All right, speaking of fantastic news, I'm pretty pumped about this one. Root is coming to digital platforms, but it's being brought by Direwolf. That's a really good combo. Direwolf makes good digital implementations of games, and Root's a pretty solid game. And the artwork for Root is already app-ready, in my opinion. So I think this could be a really good combo. And may help a lot of people who are struggling to figure out Root.
I just might finally play it.
Kramer and Kiesling, the dream team, has come together again for a game from Capstone called ReNature. A really cool box cover and a really cool looking game.
But a terrible title. ReNature? Is that what that says?
It's ReNature.
That's what I all said in my head. Oof. Okay. ReNature. Fine. What's going on in it?
I don't know. It's like a domino style game. This is in their Simply Complex line. Although remember, their Simply Complex line can be it's Simply Complex for them.
Okay. Right.
But it looks cool. It has these little animal tiles, and you're trying to put these down and block your opponents. When Kramer and Kiesling come together, I'm going to take note. I don't like everything that they've done, but I like most of what they've done.
This makes me think a little bit of one of your favorites, Tom, Adventureland. It has kind of like columns across the top, so it makes me think of that a little bit. You getting hot under the collar over there? You okay?
A little bit.
Yeah,
All
baby.
right.
No, this looks great. I like the look of that board a lot.
All right, a new studio has been started called Quill Silver. This is from Brenna Noonan and Dan May. Now, and Greg May. Dan May, I know him because he worked with me on the design for Nothing Personal. He did all the art, or at least he was the art director. He did some of the art, but he was the art director for Nothing Personal. And he's been working with Starling Games / Game Salute for a while. So now he's starting his own new studio, or a development house. And they're doing services for the tabletop industry. So you want 3D sculpting, video production, art direction, product design, they will do that. So it says here that he was the product designer of Everdell, Black Orchestra, War of Whispers, and he was the co-creator of Polyhero Dice, which I always thought looked kind of cool, but never used them because they don't seem useful to play with. So we'll see how this works.
Cool.
Ares is working with a Russian company, Agrology, to launch Orconomics 2nd Edition for all those of you who played the 1st edition, unless you're like me and didn't even know this game existed. Maybe you've been playing Orconomics.
I've never played this game. I love that cover, though.
Oh, the orc with the business suit? He's ready, man.
Yeah, the logo at the top, the banner that says Orconomics on it, the orc with the suit, certainly. Yeah, it's a great-looking cover. That kind of cover gets my attention.
So this is actually going to be coming to Kickstarter later this year from Ares
Never
Games.
mind.
All right. Umbrella Academy card games. This is from Dark Horse Comics. Umbrella Academy is coming for the 2nd season to Netflix like next week, so I know people are pumped about that. And this is another one that's coming to Kickstarter. This company is the same company who did the Richard Garfield, Ken Jennings game, what was that called? Half Truth?
Oh, I don't know. That's I've never seen that game, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Right. So this is a fairly popular IP at this point in time. So yeah, Half Truth was the name of the game. So they're launching this on Kickstarter on the 28th of this month. That's not too far away.
So this is a comic. I know that there is a Netflix series. I want to say Netflix somewhere.
It's definitely Netflix. I really like the series, actually. I actually like the series better than the comics, and I read the comics.
Okay, but it is based on that comic.
It is.
And this is based on that comic.
Yeah, the artwork is straight from the comic. So.
Okay, it looks like it's the same artist did the cover as the person who did the cover of Vengeance. Just a very white box with the profiles of several people.
That's true. That is what it looks like. And finally, next week, we expect there to be a lot of announcements out of Gen Con. Fantasy Flight has always done their in-flight thing in person. This year, they're doing it online.
Yep.
And we're going to work and see if we can pull off something where we can do some live commenting on the in-flight report. I don't know if that will work or not. We're going to try to do that. We don't know what they're announcing. They said they're going to announce what's coming up for Keyforge, Star Wars Armada, Star Wars Legion. They kind of already hinted towards a lot of that stuff. Marvel Champions, the card game. The other Marvel game they have, the miniatures one, almost 100% they will be introducing X-Men to that due to a tweet they deliberately let drop about a few weeks ago. Okay. And I wouldn't be surprised if X-Men enters the Marvel Champions universe also. If they have that license, that would be a pretty big scoop for them.
Wow.
But I'm just guessing. There's also been other things that have been leaked. There was a box for Twilight Imperium 4th edition expansion that was leaked, and people wonder if it's fake or not. Sure looks real to me. And, of course, that blurb on the book talking about Descent, the new edition of that. So there's also been rumors that there will be a X-Men standalone board game. So this is all rumors and conjecture. We know nothing. I have no inside track here.
Fallout living card game.
You've been talking about that for 3 years now. So not only do they do the in-flight report, but they also have scheduled for, like, they have unannounced Project 1 and unannounced Project 2 where they're showing this stuff off, then unboxing it on their channel.
Cool.
So we'll have to wait and see what's coming out. Like I said, a lot of news, but we are at the end of it. So let's jump to some more contributors.
This is a segment where we take a look at a board game based on an IP, and I see if the IP and the mechanisms fit together, and whether it's a game that you should check out or not. Today we're looking at Masters of the Universe, a 3D board game. This is based on the He-Man cartoon. We're going to have as a team of He-Man characters and a team of Skeletor characters racing the Castle Grayskull. Let's take a look at this game, and I'll show you how it plays. Game is fairly easy to play. Just spin and move. You spin, you move that number of spaces. Some of the space on the board will have it go ahead a spot, or you might lose a turn. What you're trying to do is get all the way down here to Castle Grayskull, and you're the winner. A couple things that can happen if you land on a spot with an automobile, then the 3D board will shift, and that could take some people further along. So say Beastman goes there, he's actually helping He-Man get to the bottom. If a good guy and a bad guy land on the same spot, they're going to have a battle off, where you spin the spinner, whoever scores the highest wins. The other person, Skeletor, has to go all the way back to the start. Like I said before, it's a race to the finish. First one to Castle Grayskull is your winner. You can also play teams where you have to get all of your teammates to Castle Grayskull in order to win. So the IP of He-Man and the mechanism of the game fit okay together. You have a team of He-Man, led by He-Man, you have Teela, and you have Man-at-Arms, versus Skeletor, Beastman, and Merman, and you're racing the Castle Grayskull. That is kind of an episode of He-Man, right? How you're getting there, I guess, is a little pull-off that you're doing the spin and move, but there are some battles that you would get from the television cartoon. So all of that fits perfectly together. Now, the way you get into the automobiles and you can spin the board around makes sense, I guess, because you can be shooting to the front. It doesn't make as much sense when you jump into it. It instantly takes you to behind, but that is what's going on in this game. So it kind of fits well together. This is a good spin and move game for children, especially if they have an attachment to the IP. But if you're into some He-Man action and you got a little one running around the house, this is not a terrible game to start them out on board games and learning that spin and move mechanism, because when you switch that board, they will laugh every single time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.
Hi, I'm Ambi, and I like board games, but I didn't really used to like solo board gaming, because with the more involved solo games, the time to set up was usually a long time, and I would rather play a video game. Plus, recently, the time I have for gaming is usually like 30 minutes or less. But lately, I've found some solo games that I can play in 30 minutes or less, and they're really easy to learn, and that's solo roll and write games. There's a lot of free print and play solo roll and write games, and I'm just like on the surface level, just finding a couple so far, but so far I'm really enjoying it. What's really neat about these is they're really easy to set up, the rules are simple, and they play really quick. And also for the free print and play ones, you don't need much to play it. You just need some dice, a printer to print out the sheet, and a pen. Or you don't even need a printer. You can just play with the sheet on your computer or digital device and like draw on it on there. So I've slowly been discovering some different roll and write games, and one that I'm really enjoying is called Bargain Basement Bathysphere. It's a fun campaign game where you have a bathysphere, which is like a submarine that you're diving down into the ocean trying to go as deep as you can, but then also be able to come back up. In the game, you even get to name it. I've named it Bathy because I'm bad at naming things. Case in point. But what's fun about Bargain Basement Bathysphere is it's a press your luck game. You're trying to get down as deep as you can, but as you go, you're getting more damage, and then you can move less on each turn because you're rolling less dice as you get more damage. And then going back up is harder because of spaces you land on, you mark off, and then if you land on spaces that are marked off, you get more damage. So you're going really fast when you go down, and then when you go back up, you're going really slow, and suddenly you just can't make it to the surface. Anyway, there are a ton of different solo print and play games out there. not just roll and write. So let me know what your favorites are and maybe I can check them out. Also, let me know if you think of a good name for this segment, because I'm not great at naming things. Bye!
Hi, I'm Josh from the YouTube channel Josh Yaks, and oh my goods! Within this minuscule and poorly named game box lies a shockingly robust engine-building game of producing resources in order to acquire victory points. Let's take a look at the multi-use card mechanism by which this little game brings the theme of life in a medieval village to, well, life. We'll start with my little charburner building here, which in this example has already produced a few charcoal. If I can provide 2 wheat and 1 wood, it will produce another charcoal for me. Then, as long as it's been activated this turn, I can more efficiently produce even more charcoal at a cost of 1 wood from my hand for each charcoal. Next, I'll go to my mill, where 2 stone and 2 wood will provide me with my first bag of flour, and then I can keep that production going with more wheat from my hand. Then I'll head to my bakery. I'll use 3 wheat and 2 brick to bake my first loaf of bread, and then I'll make use of my charcoal and my flour in order to produce even more bread. And then finally, to make even further use of my food production chain, I'd like to build another building, the food factory. This one costs 19 coins, but my bread is worth 4 coins each, so I can spend 4 bread as well as 3 of my single coined charcoal in order to pay for my new building. Not only is it going to give me 5 victory points at the end of the game, but now I can turn my 4 coin value bread into food worth 8 coins each. Buildings, resources, currency. It's amazing how much theme can be brought to life with just a deck of multi-use cards. Well, I'll catch you next time with another wonderfully thematic mechanism from another game. And in the meantime, you can find me talking about board games, books, music, and all kinds of other fun stuff on my Josh Yaks YouTube channel. Cheers!
All right. Here we go, everybody. Welcome back to 20 Questions. I've got a game picked out, and Tom is going to try to guess that game with your help, of course. I've got here 20 chips representing the 20 questions he'll be able to ask me. He can only ask questions that you yourselves in the comments post for him to ask. And he can pick whichever one he wants. Now, every time you ask a question, Tom, I'm going to take one of these chips. I'm going to set it aside. Before I do that, you can choose to reveal the other side. Half of them are nothing. But the other half, the other 10, are broken down into 5 bad ones and 5 good ones. The good ones are going to net you a letter from the title. The bad ones, they remove a question token randomly from the stack. So that is that. I got the game picked out right here. Let me pull up my spinner for letters. Not that you'll ever need it. And the usual wager, of course, is we play for Tom Vassal's soul. But today we're going to be playing for his hats. His entire collection of hats. This includes, but is not limited to, the upcoming 2 years worth of hat purchases. If you buy a hat within the next 2 years, it belongs to me. Assuming, of course, I win.
What do I get if I win?
You get to keep your hats.
This does not sound like a good wager. All right.
Hey,
All
we
right,
can
folks.
play for your soul instead.
Someone asked here if it has unlimited plays.
I love our audience and their I love the inside jokes developed from this stuff. Oh my goodness. That's an inside joke from yesterday, folks.
All right, we'll start with this weird question, but I like it.
Bring it.
Does the game have at least 2 expansions? And we'll consider an expansion a published expansion, not promo cards or whatever.
Then I think no.
All right. I will flip the chip.
Ooh, as bad as a -1, Tom. And these are completely random. I have shuffled them. I will do some more of it right now.
That was Chad. No, that was Brett's question.
Well, he led you astray. I can almost feel that
I
hat
believe
resting
you. You
upon
don't
my
need to
head.
shuffle them that much. All right.
Hey, man, I don't want to be accused of not being fair.
I'm going to accuse you of that regardless. All right.
You're right.
Elias says, was it kickstarted?
It was not kickstarted.
I will flip another chip.
Oh, you animal coming back like a phoenix. Yes! Risen you are.
And I almost said no to that one too, folks.
Is this making noise? I can't tell. It's not. Why is it not making the noise? I need the noise. Give me the noise. Here we go. Yes!
Give me a letter. Give me a letter. Don't make it E because I don't like that letter.
Oh! It's your letter. The letter is O.
Oh. Alrighty. Battlecry says, does it taste like ribs? I don't get that. All right.
Is that a legit question?
No, it is not a legit question. Kwame, does the game have any animals in it?
Animals. No, I don't think so. No, I'm going to go with no.
All right, I'll flip the chip. I'm flipping chips on a no answer.
That is a nothing, Chip.
All right.
You are 4 down, 16 to go.
Daniel says, is there food involved? As a theme, not actual food.
No.
Flip that chip.
Oh, look at you go. Somebody really wants to keep his hats. Next letter is...
Barely hide it.
Spinning up to...
I know. Give me not a vowel. No vowels. No vowels.
H.
Ho, ho, ho. Or O.
Oh.
All right. Connor says, does the theme involve conflict?
That is a good question.
Ooh, I like it.
Not any more than any other game. Let's say that, okay?
All right. I don't know if that's a chip flipping answer. I'll say flip it.
That is a nothing, much like my answer.
All right, here's a subjective question.
Oh boy, something new. They've all been that way.
Involving your mother.
Excuse me?
Would you play this game with your mother?
I would never subject my mom. This is the weirdest question. Would you play this with your mother? I would not play this with my mom.
All right, flip it.
That is a nothing chip, my friend. You are down 7 chips.
All right. Next question is from someone said I should have went with the ribs. That's a good question. I like it. Gary says, not Gary, sorry, Mr. Dreadful. Does the game have a subtitle?
It does not have a subtitle.
There's a lot of games that have subtitles these days.
That's true.
Flip it.
That is also an empty chip. You are down 8. 12 to go.
Man, I'm liking these. Folks, you're asking good questions today, even if they don't help us figure out the game. I like the questions. Paul says, do you place someone in a position of power like a king, a mayor, etc.?
Do you place someone in a position of power?
Do you play as somebody in a position of power? Are you a leader of some sort?
No, not really. No.
All right, flip it. We haven't got a yes answer yet,
that's
folks.
a -1, Tom. That is going to take the next chip away.
All righty, we're not giving up.
You are down to half your tokens. 10 to go.
John says, is the game language independent?
It is not.
All right, flip the chip.
Oh, you
I think we should stop
lucky
flipping
dog.
chips at this point because we got 3 good ones. Give us another letter.
This letter brought to you by the letter E. E for everyone.
Now it's spelling the word hoe, Hoe.
Is it a farming game?
Someone says, in your opinion, is it better than pictures? Is there a scoring track or a scoring bandana? Okay, I'll ask that question. That's reasonable. William, is there a scoring track or scoring bandana?
Scoring bandana? I love it. Yes, there's a scoring track.
I'm not flipping.
All right, not flipping, that chipping. 12
right.
down, 8 to go. I can almost see those beautiful hats adorning my closet.
Are the graphics cartoony?
They are not.
All right, flip it.
Flipping the chipping. It's a 1, it's nothing. 7.
April says, is the game horror themed?
It is not horror themed.
Flip it.
I thought you were going to stop flipping.
No, well, I know, but no, I'm flipping if the answers are no.
Got it. Well, it's a dumb rule, and I'm glad it punishes you. You just lost 2. You're down to 5.
So we've gotten 4 of those chips, right? 4 of the bad chips?
I don't know. You got 3, I think. Is your head sweating? Because
well, actually, the next question is that. Could the box fit inside Tom's hat he is wearing?
Definitely not.
Flip the chip. That's another no.
You are a stupid person.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
You've got 3 left. Has your silly rule taught you nothing? Stop it.
Daniel says, is the box size about the same as an IKEA shelf width? 11 inches or so.
The width?
Well, the width and the height are the same.
Are they asking if it's a cube?
No, they're basically saying is the size about that.
It's about as wide as an IKEA box. Yes, sure.
Yeah, I'm not looking at that chip then.
Good call. Now you got 2 left.
I think we should start guessing. Because that gives us 3 guesses if we do that. All right.
Do you have any idea what it might be, Tom?
Yeah, I'm going to make a wild guess.
All right, go ahead.
Here's the thing. Z told me to leave the room earlier so he could ask Roy something, which I'm assuming is, did I do this game before? Which I think was a setup to make me think that. So if that reverse psychology is all true, my guess is Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion.
It is not Gloomhaven Jaws of the Lion. Do you want to flip this chip?
That's a no.
So yes? No, it's a nothing. It was a blank anyway. Okay, last one, and then you get your complimentary free guess at the end. I would rather you start dry cleaning.
Yeah, someone says
your
we don't
hats.
have enough. We don't have enough yeses. We don't have anything here. We know it's okay. So it does not have 2 expansions. Although Z paused there, it was not kickstarted. No animals or food. Not conflict any more than any other game. He would not play it with his mom.
No.
Does not have a subtitle. You do not play as someone with a position of power. It's not language independent, which actually cancels quite a few games. It does.
Well, that's also partly why I would not play with my mom. By the way, she can't read English, so.
It doesn't have cartoony graphics. It's not horror. It does not fit into this hat. And it's also the size of an IKEA shelf, which honestly, if we had asked that question first, we wouldn't have needed to ask the hat question.
You're the one picking the questions, man. Can't help if they are less than brilliant.
That's true. That's true. And also we know that in the title there is an H, an O, and an E. And we also know that probably it's not one of the games you can see.
Right. Probably. Maybe if
No, folks. Okay, so I'm talking out loud here. Someone said Imhotep. It can't be Imhotep because Imhotep is pretty language independent. Maybe there's a few cards in it, but you're definitely playing someone in a position of power.
who are you playing in that game?
I don't know, some like I don't know. All right, I'll say Imhotep.
Oh, I wasn't trying to get you to guess Imhotep. You want to guess Imhotep?
I'm guessing it.
It's not Imhotep.
All right, flip the chip. Oh, okay.
All right. Man, I'm telling you, I'm really excited about my new hat collection. Except that one. You can keep that one. You've been sweating in it. Nervous. You got one guess left, Tom. You're never going to get it. I should have played you for your soul. I could have finally had a soul. No, I settled for hats. What could it possibly be?
I don't even have a clue. Like I don't even have a close guess. The
I gotta
first
tell
one
you
I
what,
see here,
Tom. Look, I'm gonna help you out, okay? Let me look at my footage here. Hold on. It is on screen.
Oh, we've been tricked. There's a bunch of crap there.
I can't have you take too long, though. You're gonna just eliminate stuff by letters. That's garbage.
Well, what do you think I've been doing? I would not have picked any game up there. I don't know. I'm gonna declare this one a loss for me because even with the letters, I'm not finding it.
All right. You're losing.
I am, unfortunately, but I still don't even see one with all three of those letters in.
All right, buddy. I guess I win then. Turn around.
Every night and day.
Pillars of the Earth.
Oh.
It's right
Wait,
behind you.
Oh, it's behind me.
I said it was on screen. I did not mean my screen.
Ah!
Boom! Sucker!
All right, fine.
Pillars of the Earth was the pick. You play a builder in it, so you're not really in a position of power. I would not play with my mom. It's a little too complicated because it has English on the cards.
Sure.
And it's a Ticket to Ride size box. So, yeah.
Definitely not language independent. There's a scoring track. Not cartoony, not horror. Blah, 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 blah. And yes, there was only one expansion for it.
Yeah, there was one promo, which was like new builders. And I don't think they sold that on its own. So just the expansion was the only one.
There was just one expansion. I don't count the promos. That's too confusing anyway then. Alrighty, folks. Well, I'll go start burning my hats because I'm a scorched earth kind of guy. You want my hat collection? Have what's left.
All right, let's keep on going.
Hey guys, it's Deanna. Welcome back. Today I'm going to be sharing with you another educational board game that you can play with your kids. Today's game is called Quiddler Jr. In Quiddler Jr., your kids will be practicing their spelling skills, building vocabulary, as well as doing some basic adding. The game is played over 6 rounds, and each round you are trying to use your letter cards to build either one word or multiple words. And in order to go out During the game, you have to have one card left for a discard. Once a player has gone down and played their cards, then each player has one more turn to make the best word that they can and lay their cards down. Then each of the players will add up the numbers on their letter cards and be awarded point chips, and the player with the longest word for that round will also get a bonus. So at the end of the game, the player with the most points is the winner. Quiddler Junior is a really great game to play with kids who are about 8 years old and older. Younger kids can of course play as well, but they might need to play on a team with an adult or just have a little bit more coaching from you as the parent. But this is a really great game. I especially enjoy playing it with my older daughter, so I hope you guys will check it out. If you'd like to see more homeschool related content, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Called to Cultivate. I'll see you guys next time with another educational game. Enjoy the rest of Board Game Breakfast. Bye.
Hello, and welcome back to Retro Board Game Corner. Here I have The Big Deal, published in 1977 by Lakeside. This is a 2 to 4 player game in which you're trying to buy opportunities and sell them at the highest price. Let me set this up and show you how it works. This is what the game board will look like set up. Everybody's going to pick a color and start over here at the start space. Everybody's going to get 4 chips of that color, $70,000, and a scoring marker. On every turn, you're going to roll 2 6-sided dice and move that many number of squares. You're just going to follow the direction on each square that you land on. When you land over here on an opportunity space, you have the opportunity to buy that business. So you'll just pay the printed price on the board, put a marker on there that you own that business, and then take that card. You can own up to 4 opportunities at any one time. There's a way to sell your opportunities by coming here to the center of the board, and you get there by landing on one of these yellow spaces. Or here, you'll come here to the center of the board and try to sell your opportunity for a good deal, better deal, or the best deal. The prices are printed on the back of each card. Now, if you come here to the bailout area, you'll get the least amount. You'll sell that card back to the bank, you'll take your chip back, and then your pawn will come back here at the start space. The object of the game is to get your slide tracker all the way here to the end of the track. Now to move up a space, it's going to cost you that printed amount. So you'll pay $50,000 to move up to the next space. The object of the game is to come all the way here. Whoever can do that first wins the game. I often get asked what's comparable to Monopoly but more enjoyable to play. Well, this is one of those games. That's all the time I have for now. If you have a comment below, or you can tweet to me at RetroBoardGamer. And as always, may your rolls be high.
Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Meeples University. Today, we'll talk about Deadly Doodles, the game that we've played online with our games with a webcam. What is it about, Tarrant?
So it is a roll and write style of game, or a card-driven one.
Or flip and write.
Yep. It's in many ways quite similar to Railroad Inc. Mm-hmm. So it's a route building game. It's set in a dungeon, so you're trying to link together paths containing monsters and matching weapons, loot and dragons and a few other things.
So basically you try to, every round there's a few cards flipped out, you have to draw it on your playboard secretly, and then you actually score points based on what you crossed over, and you can draw traps to actually trap other people and they lose point.
Yeah, so the traps is, I guess, really what is new in this game, because a lot of roll and writes and flip and writes these days trying to find a point of distinction.
Yes.
And this one, it introduces player interaction.
Yes.
By you get to mark a trap on your sheet, and then at the end of the game, everyone reveals where their traps were.
Mm-hmm.
And if you walk through someone else's trap, you lose points. Or if you set your trap where someone else's trap was, they cancel each other out. The trap setters lose points, and anyone who went through it is safe.
So that's basically it, Deadly Doodles. And we are Meeples University, also on Dice Tower for how to play and pocket playthrough. See you next time.
Alrighty, well that's it for another board game breakfast. Let's announce our winners from earlier in this episode. Congratulations to Stuart Gherking, Danny Skelling, and April Wilson. Congratulations. We'll be emailing you with more information.
Huzzah.
And if you didn't win, go check it out. If you want to hear some cool narration when you play these games, it adds to the ambiance of the game itself. Check out the website. We'll have a link in the description below so you can go find it and get there directly. That's it for now, but we'll be back at 2 o'clock in a few hours where we'll be talking about it is 2 o'clock, right? I think it's 2 o'clock.
At 2 o'clock, yes.
So we'll be back then with our top 10 one-hit wonder games with ProZD. So it's been a bit since we've done one of our top 10 lists, so we're back. We'll see you later on this afternoon. Until then, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia.
You've been watching a Dice Tower. Have fun gaming.
Bye.